One is the lease agreement, and the other is the acknowledgement of the property, that being of the church.
Correct.
And administration, 3. Administration of what goes on the property, from my perspective.
But when you say on the property, you mean the corner of the monument?
Right.
Yeah, I don't mean what I've always considered the church property. I mean the monument forward.
That's fine.
Yep.
We also have a survey. A survey was established when we were seeking to obtain a grant for open space. So we had the property survey. In working with Goshen Restoration, a survey was performed by Mr. Dillon, which outlined the corner of the property, which is for use by the village. Those meets and bounds can be made an attachment into the lease agreement. So it's been formalized. Right now, as the property stands, it came from the King of England. That property has been in space. It's never been formally surveyed. Mr. Dillon did for us. He checked the records, so there was never any establishment of a property line.
I'm not disagreeing with you, because I don't have the facts in front of me. But the last time when I was mayor, this came up, and we talked about it. I think that there was, David is here.
No.
Yeah, it was the sidewalk in, you know, the round sidewalk in.
And
Is it still the way it's been?
That's what was established with Mr.
Okay.
Dillon.
Yep.
Okay.
And in fact, he was written to us as mayor, asking to plant the trees behind the
Right,
benches, and we said absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, there's a formal survey to represent that.
When was that done?
When we were working on the restoration of the Everett Monument.
One or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's recent, yeah. I'm not even wait for him getting on the monument.
So what needs to take place to say go ahead with this?
We'll
We
discuss.
have to take a vote.
Yeah.
Should we have David prepare the agreement and then we review it?
Is there a lease even drawn, a draft of the lease even
Yes,
drawn?
David had done one, and
Number of
Scott
years
Wall.
ago, when Scott was one mayor.
Yeah. So there's a rough
That
draft.
may need to be retooled, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was discussion at that time about the village doing, that was all on the stuff that David gave us.
Right.
Scott, Pastor, and a bunch of, I forget who else, probably Mike Mezzaline, some
And
people
we
went down
talked
there. and-
a couple of things tonight that we want to see is concerned about administration, and Scott's concerned about at least giving you, this is where we want this to go in the future.
And then a couple of other things. I think we all would like to take a fresh look at it.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
Well, obviously, that's going to proceed in the fashion that any document we have done here, Dave's going to draw it up, and you guys are going to look at it.
Remember we told you
Talking about
like
the lease.
3 years ago to get this lease drawn up?
Yeah, we're moving right ahead with
The one with the church, the one with the church.
Hey, as time goes.
Church Park.
Sure, which copy would you want? About 4 times.
So we're talking about a 30-year
the
lease.
best one you got.
30-year lease, $1 a year. What did you say that we had to?
Well,
What was the verbiage that you used?
Well,
The promissory but non-binding?
Precatory language that the intent is for the village to be able to use this property beyond the 30-year period, but non-binding. Not binding.
I can find the survey, and we can make that as an attachment.
Well, I have a survey.
Okay.
I have a survey, sure.
Yeah, since we're directing him to do this, and then we'll
And
take a
you
vote.
wanted to have included the administration of the
Oh, yeah,
corner be
I
solely.
think that's important,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Say again?
That any activity that takes place on it would be under the administration and purview of the village.
Oh, do we need to
During
discuss
the term.
during the terms
Right.
of
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
the language to indemnify and hold harmless the church to the fullest extent practical?
Yeah.
And the language.
There will be standard insurance clauses in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think you're self-insured, so your limits are higher than ours.
No, we're not
You're
sure.
not?
I
Okay.
don't think we do that anymore.
Your limits have to match.
I'm glad as a resident of the village.
No kidding.
Yeah. We have also Dickinson meeting. Is that your carry?
We have it with Emery and Webb, and I'm looking at somebody else who is, maybe it's Emery and Webb, and there's another company. But I'm sure your limits are higher than ours.
Yeah.
Where do these leases go back, Dave? We've got 4 of them.
They go back to 2000, when Scott was there.
Then when Bob was there, you were represented by Larry Clemente, and I sent Larry 2 or 3 different places. And I'm just, the last letter I got from Gary Greenwald, he was looking for a quit claim deed.
And we still are.
For 2 parcels. I don't know which parcels those are. I didn't look at the tax map.
Okay, it's the rest of the park that faces on Church Street, and the parcel that the church itself is, that the edifice rests on. Those are the two lots that comprise that block.
Does everybody understand what that means?
Yeah.
Not a clue.
Okay. Well, apparently, you want to make sure that we're relinquishing whatever, and I'm sorry, I met you before. You don't have anything to do with this, Kim, but I certainly met you before.
I'm a congregation, my name is Scott Roper.
Scott, nice to meet you, Dan Dodger. This was never an issue until I got Gary's letter in March.
A change was made to the map in 1973 that started listing that property that faces Church Street, zoning map, as village property instead of church property, and the village has received the tax exempt papers on that since that time. Prior to that,
I don't think we get any tax exempt papers, right? We don't get any formal notification or anything, right? Right. But you just want us to relinquish rights that we don't have anyway.
We don't want to be sitting here.
That's what it means.
Okay.
That's what it means.
I would like
That's not a problem.
the zoning map to say church park instead of village park.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
we
fair enough.
don't have any claim to
No,
that property.
yeah. Correct.
And David's right, we'll relinquish the claim that we don't have.
That's correct.
The point is for clarity, obviously. We don't want to have my children doing this 30 years from now.
But they will be.
Yeah, we're doing
They will be. I hope they're renewing the lease. I really.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it'll be very brief.
Should be quick.
Okay.
You got everything you need there?
And who should I send the lease to?
To the church, if you would.
We have to take a vote on this first.
Well, we'll have to, he'll prepare it, we'll vote on it. And
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
forward to you.
Okay. Okay.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Oh, sure. Real quick, I have some invitations I have to hand out. This is the Tiffany Ball for the church. I'm sorry. And I apologize, I don't know
That's such a good
everybody.
name.
That's all right.
And it's
It's to preserve the Tiffany windows that we
I
have.
only have 5.
They are
They're yours. I know yours.
Thank you.
Keith, Roger. I'm sorry. I got the glass. 30 years from now, make sure you get it right.
Happy I owe you a apology, right?
Matt,
Did I miss you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. But the document, you like one?
I got mine in the mail.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good
Thank you. Real quick, I spoke to Don Miro. And
Yes.
And there was a history of this, there was a problem back in the 50s.
Donald and I spoke on Friday.
And I don't know if anybody's interested in this documentation, it's the whole chronological.
Well, I have some of it.
It would be great if we had the whole thing so that.
Here it is, you should make this an attachment to your meeting minutes. But this was a dispute back then. It also shows the property in question, that being the fountain, the bandstand, and the Everett Monument. So this is going back to 1900.
And so
You
your
got it.
position is that the fountain, the Everett Monument, everything belongs to the.
Even you asked for permission to put stoplights in back then, it's memorialized in that.
Are you asserting ownership of the Everett Monument now?
No.
That's good. Thank you.
Can I thank you?
Okay, Kim.
Kim, how are you?
Hello, everybody.
Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I guess I shouldn't have come late. I thought you were doing
Hello,
the same.
everybody. What's,
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
I should know better than to listen to me. You were waiting for me, Dave?
I thought you
Yeah,
were
are you waiting for me? I'm waiting for you.
Yeah.
I just came, I've contacted everybody, I think, as you know. I've served as the acting village justice for about 10 years, I think, it's been already. And I wanted to come in and formally let you know my intention that I would be honored to serve as acting village justice if the board saw that it be fit. And of course, I'm here if anybody, and I think I told everybody this on the phone, if they needed to contact me, answer any question, whatever you might need from me. I figured I would put myself on the agenda and come in tonight.
Thank you for coming in, and, you know, I really appreciate you stepping forward, you know, what transpired. That was well, sort of decision at the beginning, and, you know.
Goshen, New York, Goshen, New York, Goshen, New York.